Hey guys, back again with another exploit, and this one is a fairly simple one. This deals with the cannon that everyone's been talking about. So, it's a fairly simple one, as I said. We're going to do is we're going to take a piston, we're going to take a Warmonger. Warmonger's the best, it's the cheapest, and it's the most reliable. We give him Dead Man Switch, we start the round. As you can see, it launches him, and it launches him far and smoothly. So, we face one problem though. With the understanding of pistons, it makes it beneficial in only two situations, in second wave or at the beginning of the round, because we need to figure out a way to make it reliable as the piston will continuously fire. That's a difficult one. For example, the reason it might not be beneficial mid-round, it might be better for either the initial or later, is that how do we create the system to tell when it should go? Because if a piston's constantly firing at the beginning, how do we make sure that the Warmonger walks into the piston at the correct time? So it needs to be triggered, it needs to be well hidden, it should probably fire multiple times, and it should be almost non-obvious that this cannon is firing. And so that's a difficult one, right? So we would probably want it hidden behind some kind of opaque wall. And we need to make sure that it's not apparent to the player. And that's going to be pretty difficult. And I don't really understand how we could possibly do that. Well, actually, I have one idea on how we could do that. Here is the mechanism. The wireless Warmonger cannon that can fire repeatedly. We have a opaque wall with additional corrosive cubes to prevent the player from getting themselves into here, as they will die from the corrosion unless they have a shield. We have the wireless mechanism by method of a floating guard. We have the two hollow cubes with Masquerade, and then we have the Warmongers with the Dead Man Switch. So how this operates is that I already made a video discussing the floating guard exploit, but generally right now is that if you place a trap on the bottom and on the front location, it doesn't work on the back, it doesn't work on the right or left, a guard will be able to walk themselves onto it and hold themselves here. If we give them Bloodlust, when another guard triggers, it'll trigger them, causing them to fall and then die. These two hollow cubes with Masquerade will then be destroyed, allowing the Warmongers to go inside. We've timed the Warmongers to make sure that they correspond with the piston activation. See, recently in a recent update, they actually changed how pistons operate with holocubes, so that they don't immediately activate. They only activate after they are destroyed. And so we can actually show this off if I start here. I'm going to go over here and show that they're not activating. So let's... See, they're not activating. Only when we activate this guard will that guard drop, it'll explode, and allow our guard to go through. So now I'm just going to give you a little build of it. I have showed you the mechanisms, but I do think it's nice if I actually show you how it works. So, or well, not how it works, but how it's built. We're going to create the trap, the wireless guard mechanism first. We do this, let's do a 3 block it. Now we'll do the corrosive pit. This works first by, we're going to use instead of the spiked, we're going to use the chained. This allows us to use a ramp block in this location. We're actually going to go with a enforcer. They're actually cheaper to use in this situation. So make sure he's... As the Ravager actually's modified points actually cost 20 instead of 15. Then we create the corrosive pit. Then when he falls, he blows this up. And let's see. We're going to aim it vertically, so... We're going to place the hollow cube here. We're going to grab our piston. This is going to have Masquerade on it so that the guards don't immediately go through it. And then we're going to create a second Masquerade cube. Because this Masquerade cube is just used as a trigger device for the piston. This Masquerade cube is used as a... In fact, we're probably going to want it right over here where the guard's floating. This Masquerade cube is used for holding the guards, that we can trigger them so they match up timing with the piston. So let's grab a Warmonger. We give him Dead Man Switch. We'll go through here and plop him in. Then we create a guard that'll act as the trigger device. We need to give this guy Bloodlust also. Hold on. We give him Bloodlust so that when he triggers on this floating location, he falls, he hits the corrosive pit, he destroys these two blocks, allowing the piston to activate and allowing the Warmonger to move forward. Then, if we want to add a second guard, what we do is we have to make sure we do the timing correctly. So we stand here for about 5 seconds, and then we move. Since the Masquerade is here, it creates the second Warmonger to be delayed, so that he'll wait in here for a few seconds and then proceed. So it should work. And that's the Warmonger cannon.